Ann Schreiner for Marine and Water Board, Ed Mitchell for Supervisor, Timothy Barrett and Nancy Selfridge for Monterey City Council, Ken Kuno and Jason Campbell for council persons, Bruce Toccato for mayor, Scott Miller for sheriff, Eric Peterson for Salinas
Hang on. I want to get the sign too. Go. Action.
Okay. Start again.
Welcome to Fact Chat, the monthly writing and critique circle that meets here at Juice and Java monthly in Pacific Grove, California. My name is Wanda Sue Parrott. I'm one of several members of the Central Coast Writers branch of the California Writers Hall who meet here to read and discuss our manuscripts over coffee. This morning, we're very pleased to welcome Dr.Susan Horcajo, one of our members who has just returned from Zimbabwe, where she spent a year, and she's going to talk to us about, quote unquote, books for rural Africa. I presume this is one of the artifacts she brought back. And this bag from Zimbabwe. Welcome, Susan. Please explain books for books for rural Africa.
Well, thank you, Wanda. Books for Rural Africa is about me giving back to the community in rural Zimbabwe that helped me get my doctorate in education. I was intrigued by the way that education, language, and socioeconomic development interact. So I did doctoral research into bilingual education and the role of language in science teaching. The people of the rural community around the township of Chiboué, this is a typical hat that the children at Chiboué High School wear as part of their uniform. I was intrigued at how at the interaction of language and science teaching. So the people of the rural township of Chiboué welcomed me, and they allowed me to video record teachers at the remote Wancheta Primary School in eastern Zimbabwe.
Where exactly, Susan, is Zimbabwe?
Well, you can see on this map that Zimbabwe is in southern Africa. It is just north of the country of South Africa, just east of Botswana, west of Mozambique, and south of Zambia. So it is a landlocked country in southern Africa, and it achieved independence in 1980.
Well, wasn't it known as Rhodesia, I believe, during the British colonization?
Yes, it was colonized by the English, so that's why they use the English language in all aspects of modern life.
Well, what is their indigenous language?
Most people in Zimbabwe speak Shona. There are other languages, but that is the most prominent one where I did my doctoral research. I did. I learned Shona in order to do this message.
Would you tell us hello, everybody, in Shona?
In Shona, the women would clap like this and say Makadi.
What are the men doing?
The men go like this. So that is how you greet somebody or you show appreciation. So you'll see on some of the clips.
Well, it sounds to me like they're clapping. It's very musical.
Yes, I think so.
Well, can you tell us, where did you get your doctorate?
I got my doctorate at Teachers College in New York City.
When did you get your doctorate?
In 1999, I spent a year at this rural Zimbabwean primary school investigating the use of language of the local and colonial languages in grade 3 science teaching. Because grade 3 is the first grade where they use all English. And the children in rural areas don't really know enough English. So I was intrigued by the fact that after 20 years of independence, the educational system still clung to the use of English as the medium of instruction. So I noticed that the local African language was used in all other daily interactions, in the markets, in business, even in other aspects of schooling, but the books and the education was all in English. But the children don't really understand English. So I'd done some informal observations and knew that the teachers, especially in the lower primary, made the effort to explain concepts in the local language so that students could understand what they were being taught.
Well, where were you studying before you went to Zimbabwe?
And before I went to Zimbabwe, I was at Teachers College at Columbia University in New York City.
When did you take your first books to Zimbabwe?
Well, I'm from San Francisco, but I was studying in New York City, so I returned to California after completing my doctorate, and then I came here to Salinas in 2002 to teach farm worker children in Spanish and English. So I used the same skills that I learned while I was investigating the situation, the bilingual education situation in Zimbabwe.
Well, when exactly did you take your first books then?
I took my first books in 1998, just before I left to do my doctoral research. I shipped 30 boxes of books to the school where I would be doing my research. I knew from previous visits that there was a great need for books, especially in these rural areas. When a friend in New York who was a principal at a primary school showed me a room full of books that they were going to throw away, they were discarding all the old books, I knew that they could be used in Zimbabwe, and I could not let her throw them away. So I boxed them up and I sent them to Zimbabwe, to the school where I was going to be doing my research. Then, after coming back here and teaching in Central California, over 13 years I saw the same thing. People were throwing away books. I accumulated 78 boxes of books, and I shipped those in June of 2013.
So that was your second ship.
Yes, I kept in contact with friends who are teachers, and they said there was still a great need for books, especially in English, because of the situation. They still teach in English, there's still a home language, and so you have that dilemma of a bilingual situation. It's even more compounded in Zimbabwe because the language that they use at school is not the home language. So it's hard to learn English. So the higher education system is still all in English. So they need to know English for high school and university studies. And I knew there was a great need for books.
How large was that shipment?
Well, while I was teaching here in Central California, I accumulated 78 boxes of different teaching materials, especially phonics for English teaching, science books, math books, trade books, and novels from different sources. And I boxed them up and I shipped them out in June of last year.
Okay, so let's say 78 boxes by an average of maybe 30 books to a box, or even 40.
At least, yes, depending on the
So
size
that
of the
was
books.
between 2,000 and 3,000 books total. And you did it yourself.
I can't say I
Well, that's
counted the individual books. It was enough to pack them up and move them out.
Well,
Yes.
that's a lot of boxes. How did you manage? Did you do it on order?
Well, as you remember back then, I had people helping me,
yeah, I
right? Our camera woman, Susie, helped me tie up the boxes, tape them up. Then I rented a U-Haul truck and I took them up to the shipper in San Leandro, and he arranged to put them on a boat, and they went by boat to Zimbabwe.
Slow boat to China, slow boat to Zimbabwe.
It took over
Well,
6
that must
months.
have cost. Pardon me for asking the personal question, how much it cost. How much did it cost?
It cost about $4,000. I tried to do some funding with a GoFundMe site, but I'm not really a very good fundraiser. I don't like asking people for money. So my friends helped a little bit, but I had to tap into my savings, and I didn't expect it to be so much. But when I kept being given books, I really couldn't say no. So it turned out to be a very large shipment at a very large cost.
Well, when you had that first shipment, like many years earlier, how much did that cost you? Can you tell us?
In 1998, I shipped 30 boxes, and it cost me $700. It was probably less because it was from New York City, but I remembered how much school and community really needed those books. So I kept thinking of that when I was teaching here in Salinas and Monterey. Every time I saw discarded books, I would put them aside, and before I knew it, I had a $4,000 shipment. One friend offered me a whole bedroom full of novels, history, film books, and so here are some of the pictures of this room.
Oh my God.
The whole wall was full of books, novels. His wife had passed away and left a room full of books. So,
Well, can you tell us a little what kind of books?
so these are
some of the titles, if you.
These are some detective novels, so we boxed them all up, and there were some Nancy Drew, Thomas Hart. Another friend gave me some children's books because she.
Well, now, what impact has the digital age had?
They're modernizing and took the boxes of books to be shipped out. Okay, so.
Okay, after the books were shipped out, what happened?
Well, in August, I flew to Zimbabwe so I could arrange for the books to be taken to a number of schools once they arrived. Now, in October, they finally arrived, and we transported them about 300 miles from Harare to the eastern part of the country. I have some videos of the books being unloaded into Zimbabwe High School, so you can tell that the students are very excited after receiving all these books.
Can we take a look at those videos?
Sure. So this next video is of Zimbabwe High School students offloading the books while the driver and teachers.
What about you? Can I come out?
Don't go outside. Take a seat.
I've already taken you, okay? The sons of the soil, okay. Okay. I'm taking a video.
You're taking the.
Yes, see the red dot? I'm recording already 1 minute. So it's a video.
So let me go inside the video.
Yes.
Let me go.
And I'll okay. Ken Tankred. So you can introduce yourself on the video. Okay?
Oh,
I'm very happy to receive books. This clip shows them clapping hands in the traditional way that Shona people show their appreciation. Men clap like this, while women cross their hands and clap like this. Action?
Yes.
Okay. So the day I took the books to Dunduma Primary School was graduation day.
Okay.
Action.
So these are the kids who will benefit from the books you donated.
Yes, they're just beginning school now, so it was quite encouraging to see the parents so involved in their kids' education at such a young age. There were skits and speeches, songs and dances. One teacher had a small group sing about the benefits of education. And here's a video of that.
Action.
Did any other schools get any books?
Yes, and the Zimbabwe Secondary School received books as well. The coordinating teacher there gave a rousing speech in Shona to explain to students how fortunate they were that the books were sent to their tiny
Keep
action?
Action.
Wow. She was really passionate. What exactly was she saying?
Well, she was introducing me and encouraging students to make good use of the books they were given. She's a very charismatic teacher who's now in Harare working on a Bachelor's of Education in History teaching. She's also interested in putting together a museum on the site where Rhodesian soldiers imprisoned people in their own village during the war. She wants students to interview their family members who fought in the war while they were still alive, so students can appreciate recent history. It's a living history project that she wants to present to one of her professors at the University of Zimbabwe.
How exciting. Well, I noticed the students are all wearing uniforms. Is that standard in all the schools?
Yes, they follow the British system of education. They wear uniforms and they do O-levels and A-level exams in high school.
But it's a far cry from England. Their life is very different. What kind of houses do they live in?
Well, it's a very basic existence. They have simple adobe round houses. Few have running water or electricity. Many are building square brick houses, but the situation is the same. Here's a picture of a typical homestead. That's where people with thatched roofs and mud walls and cattle crawl. So most people out in the rural areas live like that.
Well, it looks like stark poverty to me.
Oh,
They
good
must lead very
idea.
humble lives. Yet they seem so full of joy.
Yes, they are very positive despite the way that they live. That's what makes it so appealing to me. You know, in fact, I was greeted with a wonderful thank you tribute at Masimbe. This school is in a very remote area. It's dry and dusty, but the students and the teachers showed their appreciation for the books by staging a whole morning of speeches and songs. This particular song was the highlight of the morning.
Action.
Susan, how did the teachers live? Since the people live so humbly. Do they also live in those thatched roof huts?
No, not really. The schools are square houses, but they do live in sparse accommodations. Here's a picture of a teacher's living room. So this is a teacher's living room. She made a lunch of beans and bread and tea for us. And this is Mrs. Kureva again. She's the teacher that's doing the history project for the University of Zimbabwe. She received over 24 pen pal letters from students at her high school that want...
Great.
There's another
Say action.
Action.
Okay.
coming.
Is this the school where you did research in 1999?
No, I did research at a primary school that was equally as basic. In fact, Mochete is grappling with a grave problem of termites. I took them books, but they have not yet been able to make use of them.
Well, then what have they done with them?
Well, they're still in boxes since they haven't been able to even put the donated books on shelves. These videos...
Muno mu Zimbabwe, kwenda muno mu Zimbabwe chete, muno mu Chipinge district, kwenda mu Chipinge chete, Bamasimbe. Ah, tikata ngatimbobonga. Wale musha usingavhakachirwi, kune mashoko. Ukaita kachipango dai wapedze gore vasoti gogogo zvibvunze wakamboita kudini asi mushono zvakatirwa wakanaka unenge uchifara nokuti hapasviki munhu unoramba akaisa chini murungu zvinoizvi totiudza kuti tofara sopa vatobvisa tokuta kuti ai ndokugamuchirwa zveu kwaitwa nevana vaiyembapo madhodha muri kuriko tononenge kuti magirls chete musasarira muchazoitawo aha chandasimudzirwa panapa kuda kuintroduce our guest from
describe the problem they're having. Okay, 5 more minutes. Sorry.
Action.
Okay, wonderful.
So, Susan, it seems to me there are other issues besides just a simple lack of library books.
Yeah, they're really juggling a lot of things at Wacheta Primary School. That school is in a very impoverished area, but Chibwe, Dunduma, and Masimbe have managed to put their books on shelves as they don't have such a big termite problem. Here's an interview I did with the library.
Okay.
This is not our actual library. Our library is just near the headmaster's office. So it was undergoing renovation. So we moved it. Yeah, these are the books which were delivered by Susan Horcajo. But we put them back in this room for keeping on the closing day. But we are planning to take them back to the library, to the actual library.
Okay, so can we go to the library and see where they'll go?
Now we can go to the library room where those books are going to be put for reading for pupils.
Okay.
So we can go to the room, but it's still empty. We are still renovating the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah, this is the actual room for our library. This is old, but it's undergoing renovation. But temporarily, it is used as a classroom for fashion fabrics.
Okay, fashion and fabrics.
Yeah, fashion fabrics. There is no room for fashion fabrics. So they are using this library room as a classroom. But we are planning to make this room a library for the school. Because that room you saw is very small to put all the books in this school.
Okay.
Yeah, but first of all, we want to treat this room, to treat the termites. As you can see, these are the termites. Right? If you put shelves here, especially wood, they are eaten up by these termites.
Okay.
As you can see, there are cracks in this room. We want to treat first.
Okay.
Put appropriate shelves. Those books.
Okay. And can you introduce yourselves? You are Mr.?
My name is Mr. Tinzira.
Tinzira. Okay. And you teach what grade?
I'm teaching grade 1D pupils, but I'm also a librarian at the school.
Okay.
And my colleague, I don't think if you can...
You can introduce yourself?
Teaching grade 1C.
Okay. And you're also a librarian?
Yes, I'm a librarian.
Okay. Shakanaka, Majita.
Thank you.
Okay, go.
Could I explain in English or in Shona?
In English.
In English, yes. Now our problem is that of the classrooms in the school. There are a lot of termites. So we are removing the rafters so that we start building from the window height using cement. Because they are not built, they were built without cement inside.
Okay.
We have another problem with teachers' accommodation. We are many in the school. Over 31, we are 33 teachers in the school, but the houses are not enough.
Okay.
Houses, so that the teachers can stay comfortable.
Okay. So you also need to build houses.
Yeah, we need
but this block here is the classroom for the students.
This is the classroom.
Can you show me the exact
Librarian at Chibwe about the books that were donated.
Action.
So both high schools and primary schools are benefiting from these books.
Yes, I was able to visit the schools before leaving in May of this year, and I recorded some grade 2 classes in session at Dunduma, as well as the headmaster's office, where they put the books on new bookshelves that they built specifically.
For students.
Okay, so where are the books now?
The books, most of them are out with students.
So here, this is just your office in the library?
Yes.
And why are the books here?
Yes, this is all my books for the students. They are very interesting books.
So the headmaster wants them in here?
The headmaster wants the books to be used in the office. He wants to be borrowed out for 7 days.
For 7 days? Okay.
Yeah. But more books are needed.
Okay, more books, and you need to build some bookshelves?
More bookshelves are to be supplied.
Okay. So which books are the most popular with the students?
Students are different. Some need romantic novels. Some need adventures, mysterious, and so forth.
Okay. Jaganaka Majita.
For these books.
These grade 2 students will benefit greatly from the book donation, I'm sure.
Yes, Masimbe High School is right next to Dunduma, and Masimbe is where they had those welcome speeches and the songs in October of 2013.
Louder.
Okay. When I went back in May of this year, the interim deputy headmaster explained how they'd managed to build the shelves for the housing the books. They don't have a library at their school, and they really had to stretch their very tight budget in order to put up the shelves in the school secretary's office. For these books.
These grade 2 students will benefit greatly from the book donation, I'm sure.
Yes, Masimbe High School is right next to Dunduma, and Masimbe is where they had those welcome speeches and the songs in October of 2013.
Louder.
Okay. When I went back in May of this year, the interim deputy headmaster explained how they'd managed to build the shelves for the housing the books. They don't have a library at their school, and they really had to stretch their very tight budget in order to put up the shelves in the school secretary's office.
English Shona.
Okay, go.
I've missed Chikumba Liba, that's my first name. Teacher at Masimbe Secondary School. At the present moment, I'm the acting deputy headmaster. Then I also coordinate working here in the library.
Okay.
And with the library, each form we allocate 2 periods for each form, and 1 period is about 35 minutes. And pupils are allowed to borrow these books for a week. Then you are supposed to summarize what you have read. Then those library terms, they are coordinated by the English teacher under the supervision of the deputy headmaster. Then these are the books that we received from Dr. Susan, and the books were presented to us third term 2013. Then at the present moment, the one who is controlling this section is the clerk at Masimbe Secondary,
okay.
Ms. V. Dube.
Okay.
My name is Mrs. Dube. My first name is Violet Dube. I'm a school clerk here at Masimbe Secondary School. I'm starting here at 13 January 2014 as a school clerk, and I'm working with the 10 teachers and the headmasters, including me. We are now 12 staff. I'm now working, this is my office, and now working with the 2 teachers in the library. I'm the one who borrowed the books and read and issue the books of the library to the school children who they want to read the book and who they want to borrow the books. So I'm the one who record that books, and I keep those books that I'm recorded, the library books that we gave by Mrs. Dr. Susan.
Okay.
Or at the 2013 third term of the year.
Okay. Sakanaka.
Thank you.
This next video shows you.
Action.
My impression is that all the enthusiasm that we used to have here in the U.S. for reading can now be seen over in Zimbabwe in Africa. Those kids seem to love hard copy books.
Yes, they and the other teachers at the school are always asking me for more books. In fact, I've managed to put together another shipment of about 24 books that I'm hoping to raise some funds for and send off at the end of July.
Well, when are those books going to be shipped?
Well, I'm hoping if I can come up with the money to send a small shipment of 24 boxes by the end of July.
And if anyone watching this program is interested in learning more about books for rural Africa, how do they get more information?
Well, they can go to my GoFundMe site, Books for Rural Africa, and we'll put that on the screen so that you can go. It's gofundme.com 1U54BK.
And can they email you?
Yes, I can be contacted at Dr.Horcajo at hotmail.com. We'll also put that on the screen. So if anybody knows of a teen who would like a pen pal in Zimbabwe, they can also contact me. So we can have some pen pals, some interaction, we'll record.
Action.
Thank you so much. And thank you. Can you
Thank
around
you to
and get all
Wanda and the other members
here
of Central Coast Writers for keeping reading and writing and the love of books alive and well in the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
He said there was 8 hours of battery, but that isn't.